So I'm 39, I'm single, and one of the most common questions I get on here is, why are you still single? Well, if you're new here, I struggled with addiction for many, many years, finally checked myself into rehab last year. And now that I have clarity, I'm able to kind of reflect back on my life. I will tell you, when I was in the depths of addiction and at the height of my struggles, I could not manage my own life, and I certainly couldn't imagine anyone else wanting to spend the rest of their life with me. I couldn't picture myself being a mom. I couldn't picture myself being a wife. I could barely pay my bills. I could barely keep a job. I lost my relationships with my family, my friends. I mean, I had nothing going for me, and I really wanted God to take me from this earth. Like I asked many times. And so the decisions that I made in my life, unfortunately, have led me to now being 39 and single. The positive side of this is I am now sober for 1 year and 5 months, and I'm healthier than I've ever been. I have clarity. I have peace. I have my relationships back. I've got a great job now, and I feel like the whole world is in front of me and I can do anything I want. So while, yes, it might seem crazy that I'm 39 and single, I feel like the best is yet to come. So if you're in the same situation, hang in there. Sobriety is beautiful.
Throughout my life, I've worked and known of several women who were single in their 30s and in their 40s. Speaking to these women and listening to their reasons, I was automatically able to empathize and understand why they choose to be single in their 30s and in their 40s. And here are a few reasons that I've gathered up that a lot of those women had in pattern. Freedom is the number one answer that I heard from most of these women who were single in their 30s and 40s. You're free to do whatever you want. You don't have to get home and answer a million questions to somebody who's insecure, controlling, or possessive. Another big reason that I've gathered from women who were in their 30s and 40s who were single is a lot of them are simply scared to get into another relationship because they went through a really abusive relationship or even an abusive marriage. And who can blame them? You got out of a 10, 12, 15 long-term relationship or marriage that was abusive physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and verbally. I probably wouldn't want to get into anything serious for a while myself. Here in the United States alone, statistically speaking, 1 in 4 women experience SA at least once in their lifetime. And in most of those cases, it actually comes from their partner at home, not from some stranger down an alley at 2 a.m. And it's staggering to realize that most of these cases of abuse and domestic violence come straight from within the home. It's actually from your own partner at home, a partner who you should trust. And I don't blame women for having difficulty trusting in getting in something serious with someone else after they've gone through something like that for so long. Fruit Loops for dinner? Why the hell not? Takeout for dinner? Why the hell not? There's no need to cook. There's none of that pressure in a woman's life when she's single, whether she's in her 30s, 40s, it doesn't, even 50s, it doesn't matter. There's no more of that pressure. So you don't have to cook if you don't want to. Overall, women who are choosing to be single in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s simply have a better life and a more peaceful life. And instead of automatically thinking that she's a red flag because she's in her 30s and is single and telling her she's going to die alone, why not ask questions to see if you can understand their point of view and why they're single? It only takes a little bit of empathy. That's all.
You know, I see why men are staying single, because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet. Tired of disrespect. Tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them, because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
If you're not a spiritual or open-minded person, you're not gonna like this video, so just keep scrolling. But for those of you who are very spiritually connected, I'm getting a download right now as to why it seems like a lot of us are single for most of our lives, or we struggle with our love lives. The reason is because we are literal goddesses in the flesh. Imagine being an entity that is not meant to be human. That means you're not going to connect to human rules or expectations or emotions even. And when you attract people, that is because your angelic goddess-like energy attracted that person, because your frequency, whatever type of goddess you are, your frequency is necessary for that person to elevate. Think of all the people that worship goddesses and gods or deities. Why do they do it? Because they're honoring that goddess for whatever it is that they asked for. So you are meant to be honored. You are meant to be treated like a goddess in this lifetime. So if anybody doesn't treat you in that manner, you're gonna cut them off. And that's why you're single, because your standards are high. Your standards are at goddess level. So for those of you who are in and out of relationships, reassess that, because if anyone has access to you, you're not treating yourself like you're a goddess. You're treating yourself like you're a human. And that's a very limited way of living, because everything on the earthly plane, like it's so limited. I could literally travel to other dimensions with my mind. And I can be right here sitting in my car still. You know what I mean? Like when you're spiritual, you reach levels that like normal people have not reached yet. So of course you're not going to have a normal life. You're not going to attract normal people. You're going to attract people that are at your level, but it's harder to find because the dimension we're in is like at a whole nother fucking level that like some people haven't reached it. You know what I mean? Think of it like an onion. There's layers to an onion. They're still in the core and we're like on one of the outer layers already. Like, so just don't take it personal. Like, just understand that you're a goddess. Keep telling yourself, I'm a goddess. Like, obviously people can't handle it because they don't have the capacity to worship me in the way they're supposed to worship me.
This is why people are single. I literally just witnessed this 30 minutes ago while doing some errands. A girl wearing her yoga set, walking her dog. I think she had a headphone in, walking down the street. And there was a guy across from her who was going to pass her. And, you know, she had a smile on her face, normal. This guy was walking down. I could tell he was nervous. Because I was kind of across the line waiting. He kind of perks up when he sees her, and then he just kind of like looks around awkward, like when you see your ex in public or something. And then he just starts looking down and walks past her. And, you know, the girl gives a light smirk, I think, from my distance where I saw her. Like a normal, right? We're walking past someone, Southern hospitality, whatever. But that's not where it ends. She turns around like really quickly and like does that little head tilt. Immediately turns back around and like puts her head down for like maybe a second and keeps walking. Again, I'm storytelling here, but this girl wanted this guy to talk to him. That's it. This girl wanted him to talk to her. Say something. Compliment my dog. Say to me, how are you? Whatever. Because sometimes that's all it takes. This girl was out of this dude's league. This guy was maybe 6. She was probably 7.5. So it's up to you. Change this fucking narrative. Make the person's day. That's all you need to do. Forget about dating. Forget about flirting. Make the person's day, because you never know. If you catch a vibe, she catches a vibe, gives you a chance, your life could change. I'm just being very honest. You need to make that shift. Make this place a better place to date.
Okay, I am an honest person, so I'm gonna be the one to tell you this because apparently no one in your life wants to tell you the truth, but this is why you're single. Okay, you're not single because you're ugly. Shut up about that. That's not why you're single. You're not single because you're unlovable or you're worthless. That has nothing to do with this. Okay, hear me out. You are single because you haven't met the right person, because no one gives you a reason to not be single. You haven't even met a person who you want to give the time of your day to, so why would you be in a relationship with the wrong person? Why? Bro, being single is fun. Embrace it, because there's gonna be a time when you're in a relationship and you're gonna be like, oh, I remember when I used to be single. Bro, you're single. Go have fun. You're single because you haven't met the person who is going to embrace you for everything that you are, rather than trying to change you into what they want. Honey boo boo child, you need time alone. You need time out of a relationship. You need time to be in love with you.
Why am I single? I have a lot of people ask me this in my DMs. And I was like thinking about this because I'm driving really far today. So I was like, let me articulate this in a way that people can understand. But to understand, I need to start from the beginning. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. Heartbreak brought me to the place that I am. I was married and I was not the best wife. Not that he was the best husband. But I think at the time with what we had, we did the best. Love him dearly, wish the best for him, and I know he does for me as well. After that divorce, I went out on the dating scene as a very emotionally unavailable woman and was trying to fill voids within myself that nobody could fill, only me. When I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere and nobody was making me feel better about myself and the lack of love that I had, I realized I had to take time for myself and not date, but do inner work. It was then where I completely isolated, probably went into a depression, but found more out about myself and my needs than I ever thought was possible. And I'm so grateful for that time because that's when my healing journey really began. I used to do all of the things that I speak about in my videos, and the people that I used to surround myself with did the same thing, because you are who you surround yourself with. So those toxic behaviors that I bring up in my videos are basically things that I used to do or that I knew women would do because we would just talk about it. I'm not proud of those moments, and I'm also not proud of partners that I have chosen before and after my healing journey. But then again, it aligned me with more of my preference and what I'm looking for as a person, as a long-term partner. I've become really driven to level up, evolve, grow, become emotionally more intelligent, more mature on a daily basis, also very successful in business. And it's hard to find men that A, don't want to compete with you, or B, don't want to use you for the success that you have. There are great men out there, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, but I've now become so particular with who I allow into my life because I'm really happy with who I am, and I'm completely fulfilled with the version of me that I am right now, not needing validation, not needing love, not needing attention, because I feel that deeply within myself. So I'm single, not because I have to be, but because I'm choosing to be until the right partner comes into my life. I also don't tolerate a lot of BS, which has come with my growth.
Yo, I'm literally the friend that doesn't get approached. Like, people don't approach me in public. They don't. Like, it's once in a blue moon to where people literally will come up to me. Or like a person, not even people, a person will come up to me and speak to me and, you know, try to get to know me type thing. But most people have told me, like, I'm intimidating. Like, honestly, I don't know where that came from. But honestly, I think I had told my mom that. I was like, I don't know why people are intimidated by me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm real cool. And she was like, that's a them problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't help that some people are intimidated by you. Like, people are intimidated, they're going to be intimidated type thing. But yeah, when I'm out in public, like, people don't approach me. When me and my friend went out the other day with her friend, they were getting approached by people. I was just standing by my lonely, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know, vibing with myself when they would walk off a little bit. But people don't approach me, y'all. And I used to feel some kind of way when I was younger, probably like 12, 13. I used to kind of like be like, dang, like, am I not pretty enough? You know what I'm saying? But I'm the shit, okay? So, like, I know it's not a me problem. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people literally are intimidated by me. But, like, I never understood the intimidation part. But honestly, it saves me some trouble because people who are approachable, they're approachable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody and their mommy probably walk up to them and have a conversation. But, like, people don't walk up to me and have a conversation. But, like, I'm a really cool person. But also, too, I'm kind of, like, glad that not everybody feels comfortable coming up to me. I don't know, because I don't know. Like, it's kind of like an ego boost when people just stare at me. Like, they're mesmerized by me, but they will just keep walking. Like, you know, like you're in a museum. You see a picture, you're so mesmerized, and then you just walk off. Like, nothing just happened. Like, people do that. Like, even when I went to this little dirty thing, people were just staring at me. Like, the people who would come up to me would be like the females. That was it. No dudes. But like I said, when I got older, I realized that just because people don't approach you and come up to you, that doesn't determine your worth. Like, you're worth it without these people acknowledging you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk in a room, people are intimidated by you. That's an ego boost. That is an ego boost, because not everybody is unapproachable. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these people are approachable. People don't approach me. When I went to homecoming, when I went to all of these different outings, like, people literally do not approach me. I will say that I only really get approached by, like, dudes who are probably like 25. I don't know. Like, I feel like they have this type of confidence to where, you know, they're not intimidated. You know, I don't know. But also, too, like, I attract dudes my age, I'm 21, who are confident in themselves, and they'll come up to me type thing. And, you know, but for the most part, y'all, people don't come up to me. You don't do none of that. But honestly, like I said, it's an ego boost for me. Like, just staring at something, you're mesmerized. You're so mesmerized that you can't even say a word. So you just keep walking. But I know, like, I'm really pretty. You know what I'm saying? I'm really T. So, like, it don't faze me. But I do see it, of course. You know what I'm saying? I do see it. I do feel it a little bit. But I don't know. Like, I feel like for me, honestly, y'all, if I was out, I've done this plenty of times. I seen a dude that I found attractive, and I don't find people attractive that often. I would go up to him. You know what I'm saying? What's up? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. Like, I'm never too ill to say what's up, like Nikki said. For real. Like, I don't care about all that. Like, if you fine, I'm going to go up to you. If I find you attractive. You know what I'm saying? Never passing up on some fine shit.
I've been single for approximately 7 years. I broke up with my ex on November 18th, late 2018. If you are single for long enough, and you do things to teach yourself love in that time of being single, you might just get addicted to it. And you may not even envision yourself in a relationship ever again. The peace that I've experienced now from being single in these past 7 years, I don't think anything could ever top it. I get home to loneliness, and I love it. I thoroughly, authentically, genuinely, and wholeheartedly enjoy the quiet and the peace, the stillness, the tranquility, the peacefulness in my life. I get home to this noise every single day after work. And I don't think I would trade it for anything or anyone in the world. This isn't an anti-relationship post by any means. I would love to be in a relationship with a woman. I'm totally open to the idea and the possibility of it. But I'm not sure if that would be something I would choose over my own existing current solitude and current peace of mind. And I'm not saying that having a woman in my life is going to cause drama, stress, headaches, and whatnot. That's not what I'm saying. But it feels really good and liberating getting home and just not having to worry about anything. You get to a point where you've been single for so damn long that the quiet and stillness literally becomes addictive. Well, wouldn't you want a woman to add to your life? What does she need to add that I don't already have? This is why I'm not going around asking women, what do you bring to the table? My table's full. I don't need a woman to bring anything to my table. I lack nothing. I have everything I want and everything I need, which is ironically another reason as to why I don't really see myself needing or wanting to be in a relationship. I've got everything I need, everything I want. I don't need a woman to add to my life. Whatever I want in life, I can get it on my own. Now, I understand you might be thinking, well, companionship. And you're right. Companionship is something that I can't get for myself. Romantic validation, of course, is not something I can give myself. But again, you get to a point in life where if you've been single for as long as I have, and you've learned how to love yourself, you genuinely don't even feel like you need any kind of external romantic validation from anyone because you love yourself so much. Will I ever be in a relationship ever again? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. If I'm not, I'm totally fine without it. But if I do end up in one, that's cool with me. I'm also open to the possibility. I'm not against relationships. I've been in relationships before, toxic and healthy ones. I understand the value and the beauty of commitment, so I'm not opposed to it. But god damn it, I love my solitude, and yeah.